Hello student, I am Radhika Mani. Welcome to third semester. In this semester, I am dealing with three chapters. Those are, first one is colligative property, second one is organometallic compound, and third one is IR radiations. Okay, so first we will study the colligative property. In our daily life or in normal life, we rarely come across with the pure substances. Most of these are the mixture of two or more pure substances. The utility and the importance of these compounds depends upon their composition. For example, if you take brass, German silver, bronze. The properties of brass is different from that of the German silver or bronze because these all are different in their composition. If you see this brass, so brass is a mixture of copper and zinc. Then German silver, it is a mixture of copper, zinc and nickel. And if you take bronze, so it is a mixture of copper and tin. Hence, due to different in their composition, their properties also differ. So if you take 1 ppm of fluoride ion in water, so this helps to prevent the decaying of tooth. But the 1.5 ppm of this fluoride ions causes the tooth decaying, and if the concentration of the fluoride ion increases, that leads to that become poisonous. So for example, if you take sodium fluoride, so this sodium fluoride will that is used as a rat poison. Okay, so hence if the composition changes, their properties also changes. So like that. So here it is a colligative property, and here in this colligative property we are dealing with the properties of the liquid solution. Okay, so first of all we will see what is mean by solution. So solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more components. Okay, so which are those components that may be solute or solvent? So solution, it is a mixture or homogeneous mixture of solute and solvent. So here homogeneous, what is mean by homogeneous? So here the properties and composition are uniform throughout the solution. That is nothing but homogeneous. So solution means that is a mixture of homogeneous mixture of two or more components. Okay, so here let us see what is mean by solvent first. So solvent means the component which is present in the larger quantity, that is called as solvent, and this solvent determines the physical state of the solution in which they exist. Okay, next one is solute. Okay, components present in the solution other than the solvent, that is called as solute. Okay. So this is about the solution and solvent and solute. So in this chapter we are dealing with the liquid solutions, their formations and their properties. Okay. So first of all we will see what is meant by colligative property. Okay. So this colligative, the word comes from the Latin, and here co means together and liger means to bind. So the meaning of this colligative is collected together or bind together. Or okay. Next we will see what is mean by colligative property. Okay. The solution of non-volatile solute in a volatile solvent exhibits some different characteristics property. Okay. So here volatile means, you already know, volatile means which evaporates, and non-volatile means which doesn't evaporate. So the solution of a non-volatile solute in a volatile solvent exhibits some characteristics property which depends only on the number of the solute particles and not on the nature of the solute particles, are called as colligative property. So colligative property depends only on the number of the solute particles. Okay. So thus the properties of the solution which depends only on the number of the solute particles and not on the nature of the solute particle is called as colligative property. Okay. So the colligative properties of the dilute solution are used to find the molecular weight of the dissolved substances. Okay. There are four important colligative properties are there. Those are, first one is relative lowering of vapor pressure. Second one is elevation in boiling point. Third one is depression in freezing point. And fourth one is osmotic pressure. Okay. So these are four important properties of the colligative property. So first we will discuss relative lowering of the vapor pressure. Okay. Before studying this, first we will see what is mean by vapor pressure. Okay. So consider one beaker containing volatile solvent. Volatile means which evaporates. Consider one beaker containing volatile solvent, say water. Since it is a volatile solvent, it will produce its vapor. So on the surface of the liquid, above the surface of the liquid, there will be a water vapors. Water vapors present on the surface of the water. Okay, so these water vapors exert some pressure on the surface of the liquid. Okay, these water vapor exert some pressure on the surface of the liquid and they attain the equilibrium. So there will be equilibrium between the water vapor and water molecule. So here what is meant by vapor pressure? The pressure exerted by the vapors on the liquid surface at equilibrium with the liquid at the given temperature is known as vapor pressure. The pressure exerted by the vapor above the liquid surface at the equilibrium with the liquid at the given temperature is called as vapor pressure. Okay. Now we will see lowering of vapor pressure. Okay. So let us consider a binary solution. Binary solution means the solution containing two components. That is called as binary solution. Let us consider binary solution having volatile solvent A and volatile solute B. Okay, so both these are taken in a closed vessel. Consider binary solution containing volatile solvent A and volatile solute B taken in a closed vessel. Since both the components are volatile, so they will produce their vapors above their liquid surfaces. Okay. Now let us consider PA be the vapor pressure of the volatile solvent A and Pb be the vapor pressure of the volatile solute B. Then phi A and phi B are the mole fraction of the component A and B respectively. Okay. And P naught A and P naught B are the vapor pressure of the component in pure state. Component A and B in pure state. Okay, according to Raoult's law, what is Raoult's law? The vapor pressure of the component is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the component. So, here the vapor pressure of the dilute solution is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the component at the given temperature. Okay. Similarly, the vapor pressure of the component B is directly proportional to the phi B. So here phi A and phi B are the mole fraction. Okay, and here A is nothing but Na divided by Na plus Nb, and here B is equal to Nb divided by Na plus Nb, where this Na and Nb are the number of components A and B. Okay. Now, from this equation, remove the proportionality sign, will get Pa equal to K into chi A, and here Pb equal to K into chi B. Okay, so here this K is called as proportionality constant. Okay, so for pure substance, the vapor pressure of the component is directly proportional to the mole fraction. So here also remove the proportionality sign, will get P naught A is equal to K into chi A. But for pure substance, chi A is equal to 1. So put this value here. This P naught A becomes equal to K. Okay. Now put the value of K in the equation 1. We get Pa equal to P naught A into chi. Similarly, for Pb, it is Pb equal to P naught B into chi B. So, this is the vapor pressure of the component A and this is the vapor pressure of the component B. So, according to Raoult's law, the vapor pressure of the dilute solution is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the component at the given temperature. Now the total pressure is equal to, that is P equal to Pa plus Pb, means total pressure is equal to partial vapor pressure of the both the component. So what is the partial vapor pressure? So that is P naught A into chi A plus P naught B into chi B. So this is the total vapor pressure of the volatile solvent A and volatile solute B. So next, vapor pressure of the solution containing non-volatile solute we will discuss in next video. Thank you.